hard to capture, extravagant, resurrect the track and it's militant. And I react like a convict and start killing. It's manifested. The gods work like appliances, dealing in my psyche.
Before we go any further, just want to say today's video is going to be brought to you by Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of inspiring classes for creators. Explore new skills, deepen existing passions, and get lost in creativity. There are thousands of classes on their site that will get your creative juices flowing, from illustration to designing to photography, and each offers classes of all levels. So beginner or pro, it doesn't matter. Skillshare has something for you. For me, I enjoy classes on podcasting secrets, how to start your own podcast, because long form conversations something that I really enjoy, and watching these videos in this class has begun to help me see ways I can improve when I relaunch my podcast. Another good thing is that Skillshare is curated specifically for learning, meaning there are no ads, and they're always launching new premium classes so you can stay focused and follow wherever your creativity takes you. Each and every one of us was born to create. Whether you last picked up a paintbrush yesterday or during grade school, you can explore your creativity and be inspired. Skillshare offers memberships with meaning. With so much to explore, real projects to create, and the support of fellow creators, Skillshare empowers you to accomplish real growth. Whether you're a dabbler or a pro, a hobbyist or a master, you're creative. Discover what you can make with the classes for every level. Skillshare believes a strong community is essential to personal growth. Tap into the support of your fellow creators who provide encouragement, communication, and inspiration. When you join, you can try one of Skillshare's new live classes. Experience real-time inspiration as you connect with popular teachers while watching and working along with other members. What I'm going to do now is help you guys out here. The first 1,000 of my subscribers to click the link in the description box or the pinned comment will get a 1-month free trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your own creativity today. If you're a lifelong learner or a creative person like me, or you're naturally curious, Skillshare is the place for you, regardless if you're a beginner or a pro, a dabbler or a master. Between the thousands of inspiring classes, the hands-on projects, and feedback from your fellow creators, there's something that can benefit all of you. Again, the first 1,000 subscribers to click on the link in the description box or the pinned comment will get a free 1-month trial of Skillshare so you can begin exploring your own creativity today. But with that being said, just want to thank Skillshare for sponsoring today's video. What's going on, guys? So today we're going to be going more so on the dangerous side and discussing a topic a lot of you guys have wanted me to touch on, which is the Otsutsuki god and how Boruto will be the one who ascends to the status of god of the Otsutsuki clan. Now, I've held off on going down this rabbit hole because I wanted to wait until we got more information. However, as I started rewatching the Boruto anime, which is a side note, watching the episodes in chunks opposed to on a weekly basis makes the earlier episodes a lot easier to get through, by the way. But getting back on topic, as I was rewatching the anime, it kind of dawned on me there's actually enough lore here to discuss both of these topics. So in today's video, we're gonna break down the path Boruto Uzumaki would take towards becoming the god of the Otsutsuki clan, how it actually fits into the lore, and the symbolism behind Boruto becoming the god of his clan. And to show you how serious I am about this topic, I'm actually approaching this as a video essay opposed to an unscripted video. So in order for us to truly appreciate this, we have to first look at the Otsutsuki clan, what the manga and anime have actually hinted to us about what the role of the Otsutsuki god is. Now, originally a parasitic species of celestial beings, the Otsutsuki basically travel across the universe, harvesting planets as a means to carry out the will of the Otsutsuki clan, which is basically to oversee the transference of power. This can be done directly by consuming another clan member, like Isshiki stated that was done in the past when he consumed his former guardian in order to gain more power, right before Momoshiki then consumed Kinshiki in order to become the being that fans call Fused Momoshiki. The other way this can be done is by feeding another clan member who is a lower rank than you to the 10-tailed seedling in order to produce a proper chakra fruit in order to gain more power, which is what Isshiki Otsutsuki had meant to do to Kaguya before Kaguya caught him off guard and betrayed him, leaving him nearly dead. The Otsutsuki are a race that seek evolution through the transference of power, consuming chakra and genetic life force of the planets that they harvest. They revive themselves via the karma seal implanted on suitable hosts that they call vessels, and the goal is to harvest enough chakra fruits to gain the immortality that comes with being a god of the Otsutsuki clan. We know this part about the immortality based on the Boruto movie novel, where Momoshiki said as much, that eating the chakra fruits is something that extends their life force. But when we look at the Boruto manga, Isshiki also states that eating multiple chakra fruits is the route that you go in order to achieve godhood in the Otsutsuki clan, which is important because they are a clan who above all else recognizes the need for power and the structure of power, which is why the Otsutsuki clan travel in pairs, with the weaker Otsutsuki always being the one who ends up being sacrificed to the Ten Tails, and that Otsutsuki ends up getting revived via the Karma Seal. One gets power via the chakra fruit and the other one gets an updated body by reviving into a vessel that has the Karma Seal. Based on this information, we can conclude that for a parasitic celestial clan like the Otsutsuki, power is the one thing that they acknowledge before all things else, and it is the central driving motive behind all of their actual actions. The stronger that you are, the more likely you are to actually rule the clan. This is important to keep note of when it comes to Boruto Uzumaki becoming the Otsutsuki god, because there's an argument to be made that this is the route that Boruto is being forced along all throughout the series. Isshiki Otsutsuki's spirit told Code to consume numerous chakra fruits from multiple worlds in order to become an Otsutsuki god, but when we saw the Otsutsuki god during that panel, a lot of fans noticed something very strange about this god. The deity possessed not just one but multiple jougan eyes, which we know that Boruto Uzumaki inherited Otsutsuki genetics that were strong enough that he himself carried the potential to awaken that eye. Isshiki Otsutsuki, before bestowing upon Boruto the Karma Seal, noted that Boruto had inherited ancient Otsutsuki powers of the Otsutsuki clan, and during the conversation that they had, we saw what appeared to be a statue of some sort of a king, but now that we know that there's an Otsutsuki god, I've begun to wonder, could this be a statue of the Otsutsuki god, or perhaps could this be a statue of an Otsutsuki priest? Also, when you go into Kaguya's castle, in particular the one that Sasuke was in during the Boruto arc called the versus Momoshiki arc, we also see another statue as well. Regardless, one thing that we do know is that Boruto's jougan was enough that it absolutely terrified Isshiki upon seeing it, and despite Boruto having no real training with that eye, we saw him being able to track Isshiki through the various space-time dimensions with that eye, and the power amp that it gave Boruto was enough that Boruto did serious damage to Isshiki, which infuriated him to no ends after it happened. This is very important to remember because I believe the anime is showing us that there is more than one way to become an Otsutsuki god. One way is the traditional way that Isshiki mentioned, which is eating chakra fruits in order to transform the body and eventually ascend to godhood, but the other way is to gain power to become the strongest Otsutsuki in existence, which I believe Boruto is already on the process of actually doing, and I think Boruto can do this without having to eat the chakra fruit. Genetically, Boruto's body has already been converted into 80% Otsutsuki, confirmed by Isshiki himself. However, Boruto was already part Hyuga, and the Hyuga are direct descendants of the Otsutsuki bloodline. And another thing to keep in mind is that Boruto somehow inherited recessive genes that allowed him to carry the gene for the Jogan eye, an ancient Otsutsuki eye that is rare even amongst the Otsutsuki, and by rare I mean that only the Otsutsuki god has actually been shown with this actual eye, which possibly means that somewhere very distantly down the bloodline, someone from Boruto's bloodline was related to the Otsutsuki god, which means that Kaguya herself would have been distantly related to this Otsutsuki god, the ancient Otsutsuki god. But due to this being a clan that prides itself on power, and due to Kaguya herself being Isshiki's subordinate, that is why she was chosen to be fed to the Ten Tails, because she was the weaker one despite her actual bloodline, and the Otsutsuki value power before anything else, not necessarily the actual royalty. Now, due to Boruto's body having already manifested the Jogan at various points in his own body, now being 80% Otsutsuki, this in theory means that Boruto can start to acquire power by manifesting the actual power inside of him, similar to how Naruto had the Nine Tails, but it wasn't until he mastered that power that he fully gained access to the full chakra of the Nine Tails, which in turn then amped up his physical stats. Chakra can be used to boost the physical stats, which allowed him to jump up several tiers. Well, in the case of Boruto, when he transformed into Boruto Shiki, he can absorb chakra due to it allowing Boruto to regain consciousness. But that's only because Momoshiki was trying to stay in control of the body. However, if Boruto is able to control Momoshiki's power fully, drawing it out at will, the opposite should happen when you think about it. The more power that he gains while maintaining control of Momoshiki, the stronger that Boruto can actually become. We've seen this as possible in a way, and we know that Boruto does have some mastery over that power because he's activating karma at will during the time skip. But another thing to keep in mind is that Jougan was controlled by Isshiki, albeit Isshiki was literally inside of Jougan Jigen's body, but Jigen's body was able to absorb insane amounts of chakra and Isshiki maintained control. If Boruto Uzumaki is somehow, some way able to maintain control over Momoshiki's power while using karma to absorb chakra and eventually harvest and control Momoshiki's chakra, Boruto can then use that chakra that he has in order to boost his speed, strength, and stamina using the chakra, which will allow him to level up several tiers in a very short period of time. Very similar again to Naruto once he got KCM and then KCM 2. Now, there could be another reason as to why the Karma Seal and the Byakugo Seal were actually linked together, and this could actually be it. The Byakugo Seal allows storing a chakra inside the seal and then allows the user to unleash that power, which the user can then use that chakra in order to boost up the physical stats, as shown by Tsunade being able to break through the Susanoo ribcage. Now, the same thing can be true when it comes to the actual Karma Seal by having somebody like Boruto who's 80% Otsutsuki on a genetic level. If Boruto is able to absorb chakra into that Karma Seal, instead of just firing it back, he should be able to use it to boost his stats as well. Now, the Jogan Eye also allows Boruto the opportunity to gain even more power from the chakra boost, and you also have the other benefits that the eye itself holds. He would have to train his Jogan Eye, much in the same way that Sasuke had to train his own ocular powers in order to get stronger. He would have to train to master Momoshiki's power, which in theory would allow him to stack 80% of Momoshiki's power onto his own, due to his genetics already being 80% Otsutsuki with 100% revival, meaning that Momoshiki gets revived. So in theory, it kind of is something that does make sense, because using simple logic, it makes no sense that Boruto is 80% Otsutsuki on a genetic level, but he can't draw 80% of Momoshiki's power, because the whole purpose of revival via the Karma Seal is to come back in a new vessel with your prior power, as well as being evolved because of the use of the vessel and because of the whole transference of actual power, which is why I've often compared it to Orochimaru's living corpse jutsu. Orochimaru was going to take Sasuke's body. Sasuke at age 13 was much weaker than Orochimaru. Orochimaru wouldn't have actually transferred into a weaker body, which means that on some level he was going to be taking Sasuke's power and keeping his own power. I think the Karma Seal and the revival of the Otsutsuki work on the same level. Now, currently Boruto only has one Jogan that he's shown being able to awaken, but this could be a byproduct of what Toneri said in the past in the anime, that the Jogan's time is not yet here yet, that it was a premature awakening which was done specifically in order to handle the Nue incident. This potentially means that Boruto could awaken a second Jogan and potentially a third Jogan on his forehead, like that Otsutsuki god. This brings us to the ascension to actual Otsutsuki godhood. While I do believe that code is being used as a long-term way to actually revive Isshiki, if I'm right in eating chakra fruit will alter Code's body to become Otsutsuki on a genetic level, which will allow Isshiki to revive via that Karma Seal, turning it from a white Karma Seal to a fully mature Karma Seal. Boruto will have no choice but to strike down Code. Otherwise, he won't be able to prevent this from happening. Now, we have to move on to the actual Otsutsuki clan of itself. Based on Urashiki's words about there being a main branch, and Momoshiki stating that Kaguya should have reported the anomaly that occurred in her sector to the actual clan, this means that there are potentially more Otsutsuki out there. While Isshiki did say that he couldn't allow the Otsutsuki will to die out, that could be a reference to the fact that there are no more Otsutsuki left in the sector of the universe, or he could be talking about the will in general. If there are more Otsutsuki out there, there will need to be somebody somewhere who will be able to oppose them. Now, this brings us at last to Boruto Uzumaki becoming the Otsutsuki god. For a clan that fears and respects power, if Boruto is the one who ascends to Otsutsuki godhood on his own, in his own way, while mastering the Jogan, he can be the one who uses this ancient power to either destroy the clan or force the clan to bend to his will, or he can show mercy and seal the clan away using the power of the Otsutsuki god. And taking things a step further, if Boruto chose to, he could actually eradicate the entire Otsutsuki clan throughout all traces throughout history. And for those of you guys who are wondering how, you have to go back to that actual turtle that was shown during the time travel arc, where that turtle can go back to any point during history. We don't know where that turtle came from, only that it's an artifact that belongs belongs to the Otsutsuki clan. It could be something that very well could be a tool that has ties to that Otsutsuki god, which means that if Boruto gets his hands on it after achieving godhood, Boruto could just go back to that moment when the Otsutsuki clan was created and stop the actual creation, creating a butterfly effect that impacts the flow of history in bigger ways than we ever could have imagined. Isshiki stated that the Otsutsuki god, should code actually ascend to this level, would be a being that has no peers. So achieving this power will put Boruto in a class to where he can't be defied by anybody. He would literally be the strongest character in the actual universe. The future threat that Tenari was talking about could very well be dealing with the Otsutsuki clan and finishing off this clan, which would fit one of the themes of Boruto and just Naruto as a general franchise. It's about finding your own path, separate from the one that others wish for you to walk, and making your own destiny. Essentially, Boruto would be like Titus from Final Fantasy X, where Titus tells Yuna that this is his story and it's going to go however he wishes it. Well, the pen is in Boruto's hands right now, and the story is set to go whichever way Boruto wills it to go. Because while some believe that we're controlled by fate, Boruto is the first child born of the two reincarnates who broke the cycle of hatred, with Naruto and Sasuke being those reincarnates, and defying destiny and fate is quite literally in Boruto's blood because of who Boruto's father is. However, that's gonna be it for my video today. This isn't so much of a prediction or a theory video, it's more so of a mini video essay on why Boruto should become the god of the Otsutsuki. Honestly, we might be a little too early in the story for anybody to make this claim, but again, a lot of people asked me to actually talk about this, and I thought it'd be fun to make a video essay on this topic, so we'll just chalk this up to just a fun video essay. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below, but as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.